For decades, the V badge on a Cadillac meant one thing: a screaming, gas-guzzling V8 that could wake up the entire neighborhood. But today, that's changing. This is the 2026 Cadillac Lyriq-V. It has no engine, it has no exhaust, and yet it's the quickest Cadillac ever built. Purists are already losing their minds. They say an electric SUV can't have the soul of a Blackwing. They say it's just a heavy battery on wheels. But with over 600 horsepower and a 0 to 60 time that humiliates most supercars, is Cadillac actually onto something? Or have they just sold out their most legendary sub-brand? By the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this electric monster might be the most important car Cadillac has made in 120 years. Let's get into it. When Cadillac announced the Lyriq-V, they knew the numbers had to be astronomical to justify the badge. A standard Lyriq is fine, it's a luxury cruiser, but a V needs to be a weapon. So they took the dual-motor AWD system and cranked the dial until the motors practically screamed. The problem? Weight. Electric SUVs are notoriously heavy, often tipping the scales at over 6,000 pounds. Trying to make something that heavy feel sporty is like trying to make an elephant run a 100-meter hurdle. If the suspension isn't perfect, it feels like a boat. If the brakes aren't massive, it won't stop. Cadillac was facing a physics nightmare. They solved it with raw, unadulterated power. The Lyriq-V pumps out an estimated 615 horsepower and 650 pound-feet of torque. To handle that weight, they didn't just add power, they added a continuous damping control suspension that adjusts every millisecond and massive 6-piston Brembo brakes. The result? A 0 to 60 sprint of just 3.3 seconds. That's faster than a CT5V Blackwing. Let that sink in.
Most EVs have a sport mode, but Cadillac went a step further. They introduced a dedicated V mode button right on the steering wheel. One press and the car transforms. But here's the catch. Maintaining that peak 615 horsepower output generates a massive amount of heat. In most electric cars, if you floor it 3 or 4 times, the computer throttles the power to protect the battery. You start with a supercar and end up with a golf cart. Enter Velocity Max. This isn't just a software tune, it's a dedicated thermal management state. When you engage it, the car preconditions the battery and optimizes the cooling systems to ensure you get every single one of those 615 horses, pole after pole. It even changes the E-Rev performance sounds inside the cabin, giving you a futuristic, aggressive hum that actually makes you feel the speed without the need for a tailpipe. If you're spending nearly 90 grand on a performance SUV, you don't want it to look like the one your neighbor uses for grocery runs. The standard Lyriq is beautiful, but it's elegant. The V-Series needs to look angry. Cadillac had to walk a fine line here. If they went too fast and furious with wings and scoos, they'd ruin the luxury aesthetic. But if they did too little, no one would notice the difference. The Lyriq-V strikes the perfect balance. It sits lower to the ground on a revised suspension, giving it a prowling stance. You get a unique front fascia with a more aggressive mesh pattern, blacked out trim everywhere, and those stunning 22-inch wheels wrapped in high-performance summer rubber. It's subtle enough to stay classy, but when you see it in the rearview mirror, you know it's coming for you. Step inside and you're greeted by what is arguably the best interior in the segment. The centerpiece is a massive 33-inch curved LED display that handles everything from your gauges to your Google-based infotainment. We've all seen screens in cars before. Usually they're laggy fingerprint magnets that make it impossible to change the AC without crashing into a tree. For a driver-focused V model, a bad tech interface is a deal breaker.
Cadillac nailed the execution. The screen has a 9K resolution. That's higher pixel density than most high-end TVs. It's powered by a Snapdragon processor, so it's lightning fast. In the V-Series, you get exclusive Napa leather seats with performance bolsters to keep you locked in during cornering. Plus, the AKG Studio 23-speaker system with Dolby Atmos means that even when you aren't listening to the motor, the audio experience is world-class. Performance costs money, but in an EV, performance costs range. More power and bigger wheels usually mean you're spending more time at the charging station and less time on the road. The standard Lyriq can push over 300 miles of range, but when you add a 615 horsepower dual motor setup and 22-inch sticky tires, the efficiency drops significantly. If the range falls below 250 miles, the Lyriq-V becomes a weekend toy rather than a daily driver. Surprisingly, Cadillac kept it respectable. The Lyriq-V offers a 285-mile estimated range. That's more than enough for the average commute and even some light road tripping. And when you do run low, it supports 190 kilowatt DC fast charging, adding about 75 miles of range in just 10 minutes. It's a performance car you can actually live with every day. Let's talk money. The 2026 Lyriq-V is expected to start around $78,595, with fully loaded versions hitting the $90K mark. At that price point, the competition is fierce. You've got the Tesla Model Y Performance, the Audi Q6 e-tron, and even some high-end BMW iX trims. Why would you buy a Cadillac when a Tesla is cheaper and an Audi carries a different kind of prestige? Tesla has the charging network and the Germans have the heritage. Cadillac has been the underdog for years. Can they really justify this price tag? Here's the thing, the Lyriq-V isn't just a spec sheet. It offers something that Tesla doesn't, Super Cruise. This is hands down the best hands-free driving system on the market today, and it comes standard here. When you combine that with an interior that feels twice as expensive as a Tesla's and performance that matches a Porsche, the $80,000 price starts to look like a bargain. You're getting a luxury yacht that can run a 10-second quarter mile.
So, is the Lyriq-V a real V-Series? It doesn't have the roar of the CTS-V or the manual gearbox of the Blackwing. It's a completely different animal. If Cadillac fails here, they risk alienating their most loyal fans. If this car feels like a heavy, soulless appliance, the V-Series brand is in trouble. But based on everything we see, Cadillac hasn't just built a fast EV, they've built a Cadillac. It's smooth, it's quiet when you want it to be, and it's violently fast when you need it to be. It's the bridge between the old world of displacement and the new world of voltage. It might not have the V8 rumble, but once you feel that 650 pound-feet of torque pin you to your seat, you probably won't care. The 2026 Lyriq-V is proof that the future of performance isn't just about engines, it's about the experience. It's bold, it's tech-heavy, and it's undeniably American. But I want to hear from you. Is 600 horsepower enough to make you forget about the V8, or is Cadillac making a massive mistake by going electric with the V badge? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that subscribe button to join the community, and I'll see you in the next one.